Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, doo-dah day.
Hi there, and welcome to Stupid O'Clock. I'm Dan Hollifield. Joe Dog is taking a sick day, I assume, but he won't be with us tonight, which means that he'll probably join in about 15 minutes to make sure that we hit the go live button. And with me tonight, we got John, we got Dawn.
Did you tell Joe about the Facebook ban? No, okay, never mind. If you say that out loud, Joe will be on here in like 5 seconds. Okay, what did you do?
They didn't have a sick day. They did a con today, didn't they?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Hey, Donna. Hey, Carl.
He and Chris were at a con, and they're probably exhausted. But I'm sure more people know about HallowCon now than did before, so that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which con are they? Or is that the?
No, it's not outside con because Dawn would be there.
No.
Or Uncon.
Yeah, Uncon's not for a couple weeks. I'll be at Uncon. I think they were in Knoxville. Is there one in Knoxville this weekend?
I don't know. I'd have to consult the Southern Resource Fandom Guide, which is, if people don't know about that, they really should.
I believe I will post that to Stupid O'Clock because yes, that is.
They have been putting out con schedules for the Southeast for
it is the greatest
decades.
Collection of con information since Sci-Fi Magazine went under, or Starlog Magazine. Starlog Magazine. Let's see, Southern Fandom.
FrankenCon, Chris says.
Which what one?
Where's he at?
FrankenCon.
He's in the chat.
Hey, Chris. I had private chat up yet, but I had the other. He must be hanging around. He's not in the same room as Donna and Carl.
I guess not. Nope, I don't see him in there, but he is. I don't know what that symbol means. It's a YouTube channel. It's probably the HallowCon YouTube channel. Oh, Donna, I am not going to attempt that one. Last night, maybe, but...
Come hang out with the cool kids, Chris. Jeez.
Sad bit of news in sci-fi and fandom. Roger Corman has passed away.
Oh, my goodness.
King of B movies. He was 98 years old.
Good Lord, he had a long run.
He is. He has been making movies. Let me see where this goes to. Making and or producing since 1954. Okay. And there's a running gag in Hollywood that says Roger Corman could negotiate the production of a film on a payphone shoot that same film in the phone booth and finance it with the money that he'd found in the change slot.
And probably make a good deal back.
And I don't know that he ever made a losing movie. I think every movie he's ever made actually made a profit, but I'm probably wrong about that. But
the Fantastic Four movie that he made that because it was never meant to be shown to the public.
oh well,
Although the actors and actresses did not know that, they went ahead and it turned out a great movie on a Roger Corman budget.
He was the man that did 50s schlock science fiction movies. Okay, Beast of a Million Eyes, The Day the World Ended, It Conquered the World, Attack of the Crab Monsters, Not of This Earth. Strange enough, all these are actually pretty damn good movies.
Yes, they are.
The Undead. Let me see. Teenage Doll, Carnival Rocks, Saga of the Viking Women and Their Voyage to the Waters of the Great Sea. War of the Satellites, Brain Eaters, Teenage Caveman, The Crybaby Killer, Night of the Blood Beast. Let me see.
Basically, there were two people in that time period that could make an entire movie on pocket change. One of them was Ed Wood, the other was Roger Corman.
So I'm trying to remember. Let's see, what were some of his really big movies, though? Oh, Pit and the Pendulum. He did that one. Vincent Price and John Kerr. Let me see. Had absolutely nothing to do with the Edgar Allan Poe book, but
I used the same title.
Pretty much. The Raven. He also did that one with Vincent Price, and again, had absolutely nothing to do with. Of course, The Raven was a poem. It wasn't really a horror story.
Nope. What was the one he did that was, I think it was Clint Eastwood's first movie role?
Oh. I'll have to think about that one. Mask of the Red Death. He did that one with Vincent Price. That was actually a pretty darn good one. Let me see. Queen of Blood. Bloodbath. Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet. The Navy versus the Night Monsters. Let me see here. Voyage to the Planet of Prehistoric Women. Was that one X-rated?
No.
Wrong one.
Everybody just wished it was.
The Dunwich Horror that he made in 1970.
I think Dean Stockwell might have been in that.
Dean Stockwell. That was Ed Begley, not the junior, the original Ed Begley. Sandra Dee was in it. And Dean Stockwell. Yes, that was one of his earliest roles that he wasn't a kid. Because his earliest role, he played a kid in something.
Thin Man movies.
Yeah.
I think he did at least one, if not two. The last one or two.
Let's see. So I'm trying to remember what was the really big. I know he did one movie that was just really good. I'm trying to remember what it was. Death Race 2000 was one of his big ones. Let me see here. Cannonball. Really?
Not to be confused with Cannonball Run.
No, but very close. Thunder and Lightning. Because he actually did some decent, he did a movie called The Green Room. Apparently it scored pretty high. It got 6.9 out of 10 stars. Piranha.
Hey, Carl, they're probably watching the Light Show.
Let's see. Rock and Roll High School with the Ramones.
Oh, yes.
The original. Okay.
And then The Brood. That was another one of his more popular. That was big at the time. Galaxy Express 999. I did not know he did. Oh, he was the executive producer for the English dub version.
The English dub of the anime. Yes. Okay. That makes more sense.
Oh, yes. He was the distribution producer for the movie Breaker Morant, which was kind of a famous movie back in the day. Humanoids from the Deep. You see, Battle Beyond the Stars, which was a sci-fi version of,
Stella Star Crash, I think.
No, that was later. Battle Beyond the Stars was the sci-fi version of Seven Samurai, which was then copied with Yul Brynner into the Magnificent Seven, and then they did a space version of it called Battle Beyond the Stars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shogun Assassin, which was strangely enough is one of Robert Rodriguez's favorite movies, and Quentin Tarantino. They both love that one. See, Galaxy of Terror, which was one of my favorites because it was such a schlocky sci-fi movie. Let me see. Matter of fact, I don't think Joe shows that one at.
No, but he's probably got half a dozen of the other ones on his.
Fire and Ice. He was I did not know he was the distribution producer for that. Cool. Which, for those of you who don't know, is a Ralph Bakshi animated wizard and warrior type thing.
Oh.
Deathstalker. He was the executive producer on that one.
What is wrong with my eyelashes?
He was the distribution producer in some of the Emmanuel movies, which were famous when Showtime first came out.
Chris was also commenting Out of This Earth, Dinosaur Island, and Night of the Living Dead.
Yes. Screwballs 2, Cocaine. Chopping Mall. How's the Assassin? Deathstalker 2. He did the Deathstalker movies. Not of This Earth. That was Manuel 6, Saturday 14th Strikes Back. Did he do Saturday the 14th?
I'm not sure.
He did Saturday the 14th Strikes Back. Screwballs 2. When was Saturday the 14th? I don't see Saturday the 14th. Okay. Let me see. The Watchers. With Corey Haim. I did not know he was in on that one. Deathstalker and the Warriors from Hell. Terror Within. Two to Tango. Where's the Lost Kingdom? Dancing Man. Water Deep.
Hello, Adam.
As I said, that's that Adsy.
Barbarian Queen and Barbarian Queen 2.
Hey, Cappy.
Oh, okay. You remember I was joking about X-rated movies earlier? Flesh Gordon meets the Cosmic Cheerleaders.
That was a sequel.
Watchers 2, Slumber Party Massacre 2. Okay. So good they had to do it again. Into Dead Space. Okay, that was actually a decent movie, even if the special effects were kind of schlocky.
Thank you, Chris. I did not know that. I should have.
What was that?
Watchers was based on the Dean Koontz novel.
Yes.
Back before Dean Koontz decided he didn't want to be known for sci-fi anymore.
Revenge of the Red Baron. Dinosaur Island. Unborn 2. The Fantastic Four movie of 1994. He was the executive producer, and I believe it didn't go nowhere. Literally didn't go nowhere. Watchers 3, Crazy Sitter, Hellfire, Spy Within. Carnosaur 2. Attack of the 60-Foot Centerfolds. We need more movies like that. Let's see, Alien Within. He has done something recently that actually got big kudos, and I can't remember what it was.
What is it with my eyelashes?
Piranha. We did the Piranha movie. Droid Gunner. Black Rose of Harlem. When the bullet hits the bone. House of the Damned. Humanoids from the Deep, the 1996 variant. Death Game.
I'm just not going to be able to wear my glasses tonight. Every time I put them on.
That's where I'm at. I just been keeping them on lately.
You can use mine.
Yeah, are they going to press against my eyelashes?
Lucky they'll stay on your face as big, heavy as they are, and thick.
Good night, Chris.
Good night. Squee! I had to have a mini squee in there.
No. The Hunt for Eagle 1. I did not know he did that one. Death Race, the 2008 variant. Death Race 2, the 2012 or 2010 variant. Attack of the 50-Foot Cheerleader from 2012. Death Race 2050. Death Race 4. I cannot remember what that was he did recently that actually got kudos. I think maybe it was with Death Race movies. Oh well. Because he had Jason Statham in those. So that's kind of... But Battle Beyond the Stars, I think, was probably his finest work, though. That was just... Because it had so many just classic people in it.
Was that the one with Hasselhoff in it?
No, that's the one thing he didn't have in that movie. Was David Hasselhoff.
They did one that was it was put down as a Star Wars not parody, but ripoff.
Yeah,
and
that was Battle Beyond the Stars. It had Richard Thomas in it, who played John Boy in the Waltons.
Mm-hmm.
See, George Papard was in it.
I love it when the plan comes together.
One of Roddenberry's favorite guys. Darn it. Now I'm going to have to look this one up. I figures they just closed everything out on it.
While he's looking that up, you guys are not hearing my mini split as background, are you?
No, but your volume's kind of low. So either step closer to the mic or I will turn up your volume.
Well, the mic
edit mic settings. Oh, set for automatic. Oh, up. Turn down. Go there. Okay, now say something.
Test 1, 2.
Turn that. Up. Quit turning that down. Are you doing that?
Yeah, you gave it control to me.
Yeah, I keep running it up so I can hear you.
You can't barely hear you.
Too loud because then it might pick up my mini split because it's got a bad bearing on the drive motor there. That's crazy. I'm watching you adjust my mic.
Okay.
Did you get a nap, Dawn?
No.
Oh.
Really? I think I'm 3 up on you for the day then.
We went and they had the library across one of the towns across the river had a puzzle exchange, so we took some puzzles over there, exchanged them, stopped at the CBD store and got some new CBD lotions because ours were running out.
You see, Battle Beyond the Stars. Oh, go ahead.
Picked up drugs, went home, picked up more drugs, then went to do dinner with Ted's family for Mother's Day.
You came home, to pick up so many of them if you quit dropping them.
Came home and did a 500-piece puzzle, and
I'm gonna wind up buying Dawn a 10,000-piece puzzle.
Came in and the what? They said, Cappy, I can't barely hear you. So
I don't know what is going on. I have battled with this for a week now. Either my mic is not remembering what I'm telling it to remember. Hold on. Better?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna turn up that decibel boost anymore because if I put it to 30, you're gonna hear everything around me.
Okay.
I said I'm gonna buy you a 10,000 piece puzzle just to entertain you.
Make sure all the pieces are perfectly square.
George Papard, Robert
Man,
Vaughn.
that finger has been busy tonight, hasn't it?
George Papard, Robert Vaughn, Richard Thomas, John Saxon, Sybil Danning, and let me see. I think it's all the famous ones. There's still some other famous ones, but that's the big names. And of course, John Saxon. I don't know. He was after Star Trek. Gene Roddenberry tried to get John Saxon in everything.
Yeah. A friend of mine from college called John Saxon the man that everyone loves to hate.
I wonder about that.
I don't know why. I don't know why. He's not a bad actor. He seems to be a decent human being.
Well, he played a villain in this one. He was their Darth Vader, and then of course in the Friday the 13th movies, he played the one girl's father, who was also the sheriff of the town. So he was one of them guilty people that helped burn Freddy. So I was rooting for Freddy. Fuck the police.
You say that with your doors locked.
Well, I say it when I'm closer to my rifle than they are to theirs.
Not anymore.
Oh, he was in CSI at one point too.
No, Saxon has played good guys and bad guys in all kinds of things.
Oh yeah.
One episode, he played as a Mr. Walter Gordon.
Oh.
Criminal Minds. That's a good show.
Oh, Enter the Dragon, which was not a TV show.
How could I forget that one? He was like the gambler that kept losing.
Yeah.
Murder, She Wrote. He was in there.
Oh yeah, I think actually he played a police officer in that one too.
Yeah, Bernardo Bonelli, Marco Gambini, and Jerry Lydecker were the actor names.
I'm pretty sure
Beverly Hills Cop 3.
I'm pretty sure he was in like Barnaby Jones, Macmillan and Wife, Columbo, Barnaby Jones. The all
Heat of the Night TV series.
Oh,
I've got his IMDb up here.
I had it up. I just took it down.
he was in at least one episode of $6 Million Man, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, there it is. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, Lieutenant Thompson.
Yep.
Oh, that's the only one I've actually seen.
Actually, in the $6 Million Man, I think he played Maskatron. He got copied by the Maskatron robot. So.
Now, coincidental, yeah, he was in the first and the third Nightmare as Lieutenant Thompson, both times. But he was also on A-Team in 2 episodes.
I seem to remember one of those at least. Yeah.
I keep remembering the Roddenberry pilots that never got bought. That he was
Genesis Man and
Hawaii Five-0. Quincy M.E. Oh my God, there's a.
I told you he was in all them kind of things.
Well, somebody got to keep the lights on.
Of course, those serial things, those were really big back in the day. I don't know if they still do that sort of thing. Now it's all reality TV and crap like that.
I'll tell you what, I've been having some absolute fun watching The Rookie, 911, SWAT with the newest versions of SWAT, Fire Country with Max Stereo. That's a good show. Halo, which is, of course, based off the game
Yeah.
Halo, but it's all mixed up in the timeline. The new Fallout that just came out. Now that was fun to watch.
I've heard that that's really good. I just haven't got a chance to watch it yet.
I'll give you one tip. Episode 6, call the phone number you see on the screen. It'll make you laugh. And then text it. What'd you think of that Tomahawk cruise missile video I sent you?
I couldn't hear you.
I said, what did you think about that Tomahawk cruise missile video I sent you? On Facebook. I tagged you in it.
Oh, Tomahawk? I don't remember a
Tomahawk, the cruise missile. Going across
yeah, the one from the Baghdad attack. Yeah, okay.
Gulf War. It's like, wait.
It was kind of funny.
There it is. Look at it. You just hear it go.
CNN was in Baghdad, and they were filming, and they weren't apparently wherever they were at. They weren't actually supposed to be filming there. That they just stopped on the side of the road for some reason, and the guy was checking his camera equipment or whatever. And just as they're filming whatever they're filming, rural footage or whatever they're filming, and they'll splice it together later. Just as they're filming it, they go, look. And sure enough, there goes a Tomahawk cruise missile flying by about 100 feet off the ground.
Now, wait, was that a civil crew or was that a military crew? Because, I mean,
What?
you could... What is going on with my mic? I wonder if it's because I switched over to Google this time. You know what? I came over here to Google because I figured if I'm going to share something, at least I could share it with audio. Let me go back to Firefox and see what happens. I'll be right back.
There are several versions of the Tomahawk missile. Oh,
Now, how do I sound?
Exactly the same.
I honestly don't know what it is at this point. 'Cause
I'm turning up
I
your
was
mic a
just
little
in-
bit.
I was just in green room yesterday, and it was perfectly fine.
I turned you up to about 150%. So,
Yeah. Let me...
and then I'll hit reduce background noise. So we
Wait a minute. Why is this at 30? What the hell? All right, let me turn the boost back down. Now, how do you hear me?
Oh, much
Okay.
louder.
It's better.
Information technology, I swear I love you at times, but there are other times I want to rip the magic blue smoke out of every component I ever deal with. Apparently, an update reset my microphone to 33%.
That'll do it.
Yep.
Oh,
Or
well.
if you're like me, sometimes if I've got certain windows up and I go to change my volume, I change the volume, and the volume will go there, and it'll turn off. That's where it stays.
Yeah.
And then other times, it acts like a toggle, where when I start moving the slider for the volume, when I go to turn it off, it still keeps moving the volume around as I move my mouse button.
That's a delay. That's an input delay there.
Damn gadget.
So yeah, as I was saying was that an actual civilian crew or was that like
That was CNN. That was a CNN crew. It was on CNN back in the day.
I guess somebody got mad and released all their B-roll footage or something then?
I can remember seeing. I was stationed in Berlin when that happened. I can remember seeing it on CNN because the CNN was real excited because they caught it by accident. When the bombs started falling in Baghdad, it was almost like CNN was playing Forward Observer for the U.S. Air Force. Because they were sitting up there in their hotel room with the camera on, panning it around Baghdad, downtown Baghdad, and pointing out which buildings were which. And then about the time they'd point out which buildings were which, you'd see a bomb land on that building.
Oops.
That was the Ministry of Information.
That looks important. Let's blow it up.
And the one I love, I'm trying to remember. Everybody called him Baghdad Bob, but that wasn't his name. He was their minister of information. He was basically the propaganda minister. You always saw him out there. He had his glasses on. Sometimes, when early on, he was wearing a suit. Later on, they kept putting him in a military uniform, and just this guy should not have even bothered to put on a military uniform because, 100 pounds of shit, a 50-pound sack, and had a beret, and the beret, wearing a beret like Donald Duck wore a beret better than this guy did. Okay, and it's some sort of military uniform, and you could tell all the, there's no way this guy could have won all those awards. I mean, it's just,
Oh yeah, I love those guys.
and
I trolled them, and I got a good one for you, John. You'll love this one. There has been a guy running around. Now, you know who Jeremy DeWitt was, right? You ever heard that name? The famous Florida serial police impersonator who ran the funeral
Oh.
services and escorts, who
Yeah.
repeatedly touted he was a major in the Army and jumped into Fallujah. Now, how many airborne units actually jumped into Fallujah? This is all public record, mind you.
nobody.
Exactly. But he repeatedly, I mean, this guy was a nut. All right. This new person that I found out about makes Jeremy DeWitt look like a class clown. This guy went so far as to actually write affidavits and warrants and submitted them to the federal courts as a legitimate federal officer, of which they found out, who's this NASA OIG Jack O'Neill guy? We don't know who this is. And then he ran off into Mexico. He finally stupidly came back a few months ago, went right in and nabbed him. His name is Anton Iagunov. Apparently, he is a writer and producer. He's on IMDb, as a matter of fact. I actually petitioned to get him taken off because of his behavior. He wrote and directed a short film called Troll a Cop, Ride Along Day, where he did all this somewhat whatever kind of footage. And it's all based upon the fact that he got caught 2 years ago in Carson City, right at the Nevada-California border, but it was Carson City Sheriff's Office, so Nevada side. And they stopped him on a regular traffic stop because he had one of those plate, translucent plate covers that partially obscured the ice cream. It partially obscured the plate, so they pulled him over like, hey, you can't have that on your plate. One of the deputies notices he's got this angular box up on his dash in his window, and he says, is that a light unit? And he says, yeah. The cop says, all right, I got to ask you at this point, are you willing to turn it on for me? He does it. Guess what colors it is? Red and blue. Now the cops are like, all right, I got to detain you now. I have probable cause to search the car. They search his car. He's got a full tactical vest in the back seat that says fugitive on the back, or something fugitive, like more bounty hunter, something. It all related to being a fugitive hunter or like fugitive task force.
Right.
Guess what it says on the front? FBI. Then they find a fake FBI badge in the center console in the front. And he's like, yo, you got all this stuff, and this all looks very legitimate. I mean, you've even got the hat with a serial number in the back of it. What's the deal with this? And they show him the badge in front of him. It's on the body-worn cameras and everything. And the other cop, who just happens to be an active task force deputy with the federals, he says, well, where's your credentials? Oh, I'm undercover. Wrong answer. He just went on and on and on. And now, over the last, apparently 2 to 4 years, he's been doing this stuff. After he got busted by Carson City, the FBI badge then made the case federal. He never shows to federal court. But he's up here on Facebook and Twitter and everything else, posting these videos about how he's this big undercover. Then it turned into, oh, I transferred from the Coast Guard to being a Navy SEAL. I'm investigating the DOD and the DEA for a child trafficking ring. Since when do Navy SEALs investigate the DEA and the DOD?
I'm willing to say never.
Never. DOJ investigates. DOJ, Department of Justice, investigates the DEA or the Office of the Inspector General or the Attorney General himself. NCIS is who would handle investigate. Oh, go ahead.
This is the one where he's talking with some reporters from CNN. They're asking about American troops in Baghdad, and he's telling them there are no American troops in Baghdad. But if you looked really close in the background, there's a small river right behind him there.
Mm-hmm.
And just on the other side of this canal is a road, and there's an M1 Abrams driving up the road behind him.
I think I remember that interview. There are no Americans in Baghdad. And you see this desert tan looking Hulk kicking up a dust storm.
No, it wasn't. It was actually, if you look close, that's kind of in a dust storm. But the dust was actually from the bombings. And he was like trying to tell him, no, the Americans are not in Baghdad. And there's American vehicles on the road over behind him there. And
that voice, though. There are no Americans in Baghdad. You see this dust cloud kicking up behind him. Everybody's like, what's that?
Well, if anyways, they ain't there yet, give him 5 minutes.
So apparently this Anton guy has been calling in bomb threats in the last year or so. He's the guy that called the bomb threat into the New York Walmart that got that evacuated using a senator's number that he had spoofed the caller ID system with. He's the same guy who got the Boston City Hall evacuated during the marathon a couple of years back. But what he would do is he would call acting like a federal agent, say, hey, yeah, I've got some tips and everything, because he would go around and Google search all the events he's actually causing. But then he really messed up. He sent a bomb threat to Interpol, of all places, in New York. So now Interpol's like, FBI, who is this guy? We're getting all these tips. We can see that they're being typed the same way. The voice analysis is the same person. Who is this guy? So finally, they just nabbed him a couple weeks ago in Carson City, of all places, and he's facing 4 federal felony counts of impersonation of a federal agent for the NASA OIG apparent warrant that he filed. Oh, I'll send you the affidavit, John. It is glorious. Finally, they caught up to this guy. Some people just, I don't understand it. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you claim to be a military guy? Why would you claim to be a federal agent? Why would you claim to be anything you're not? It just makes no sense to me. Why would you do that? Knowing eventually that's going to catch up to you. It was quite interesting reading through all that.
Some people just, I don't know.
You know, speaking of somebody that was in the military for a while, and I won a lot of awards and stuff like this, I actually got tired of having to build a new ribbon rack on my dress A uniform every time.
That's how you tell.
I'd do a good job, and they'd give me another ribbon, and I'm like, you know how much that's going to cost me?
No, am I not wrong, John? Usually, eventually, the real guys you know about it, they don't care. They don't talk about it like, yeah, I served. Okay, what you want to know? But the ones that you can tell are usually the fakers are like, yeah, check this out. I did this, I did that. And they're like, No, you didn't.
Because sure enough, I'd get my ribbon rack straight on my uniform. You have to buy the new rack, get all the ribbons straight and everything. It never fails. Every time you go to take the old ribbons off your old ribbon rack, you fray the end of one of them and you have to buy a new ribbon. And you wind up, every time I get an award, it costs me $10, $20 just to change out the darn ribbon rack. And then I went to Iraq, and they gave me a ribbon for volleyball participation and every other damn thing you could do over in Iraq.
Wow. Did you say volleyball?
They had plenty of sand. It's just, it's sort of like beach volleyball, only without the water. It's just the beach.
And you have to watch out for landmines on the court.
Oh no, never mind that. You got to watch out for them camel spiders running around. You be sitting out there playing some volleyball, and this 12-inch in diameter alien chest burster looking thing comes running at you. You running?
Actually, camel spiders are pretty much like regular spiders. They didn't really chase you out in the open. It was usually when you're doing something like moving a crate and they were behind or under the crate. Then they would chase you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But am I correct in that assumption? They look like freaking alien chest bursters.
They do, but it's very rare to find a big one.
Really?
They don't last long for some reason.
Out of all the pictures I've seen of them, they hold them up by one leg, and this thing's easily 8, 10, 12 inches in diameter.
The biggest one I ever saw, the guy, he had killed it, had it draped over the top of his Kevlar helmet. And the legs were touching the bottom of either ear cover on his Kevlar helmet. Yeah, it was that.
Was he an Aliens fan?
Yeah. Now, the biggest one I saw personally that was still alive, well, it would have fit on my fingers. I don't know if that, that's tarantula size.
And Carl says Donna won't be visiting the Middle East.
Now, the one that scared me the most, though, was about the size of a wristwatch. And the reason it scared me was I put down one of those glue traps next to my bunk. And the next morning when I woke up, there was a lizard on one corner, a camel spider on one corner, on an opposite corner, and a scorpion, little white scorpion on the third corner, all in one night. Apparently, because there was an air conditioner right outside my window, they were following the air conditioner pipe in.
Oh, Jesus.
I duct taped the hell out of that opening. And put down more glue traps.
I think the biggest thing I ever had to deal with, well, I won't say the biggest, because I've dealt with animals, a lot of wild. One day I was visiting my mom and dad down in Florida. This is before my dad actually passed away. And they had moved down to Florida. I'm still up here in Georgia, but I had gone down there to visit because they were doing some renovations, so they needed, some good. My brother and my soon-to-be sister-in-law were also living down there, and we all needed to band together and get some extra, labor work done in to get this renovation done to keep the cost low, because my brother is a mechanic. He knows. Hey, Michaela. I'm pretty decent with, your average remodeling and type stuff, and whatever else needed to be certified or insured, we had somebody do. But the smaller stuff, me and my brother did that. Anyways, one day I open the door and I see one of the cats is up in the window. We had this massive multi-segmented glass window. It was like 6 different panes you could all fold up into like a hangar door. It would fold up like a hangar door. And Bob, one of our cats, is up there as high as he could get in that window, beating the snot out of the window. I'm like, what is Bob doing? Mom comes out, looks at Bob's, and then she absolutely started screeching and screaming. What the hell, Mom? She's pointing and says, get rid of that. I look out the window. I come up next to Bob, and he jumps off the tree now because I startled him. He was so focused on it. There is a 6-foot-long Florida black snake curled around the palm tree right outside the window. Bob's wanting at this snake. I already know it's harmless. It's not a venomous snake because I'm looking at the head, and I've already identified it as a Florida black snake. And I'm like, Mom, this thing will keep rodents and insects and other stuff away from that. I don't give a... Get rid of it. I said, all right. Get Bob in your room. Get Dave in the room as well, because as soon as I open this door, you know they're going to want to run out and chase it. I said, all right. Cats are away. I go out there, and I snatch this snake by the tail to unwind him off the tree. Well, that was a mistake because he unwound off the tree and then head-butted me with his own head. About knocked me out. I mean, this snake just whipped around and the head just went. I was like, good God Almighty. Now he's on the ground. It took me and my brother to get this snake to unlodge even off the ground. I swear, I was like, I don't think I've ever fought a snake that's as powerful as this guy. I mean, he was only about maybe 1.5 inches in thickness. Once he got his body on the ground, oh, that was a fight. It took us 45 minutes before I could finally get up to his head, snatch him from just behind the head, lift him up off the ground, and I have to walk across the entire condo complex to the other side of the creek. I'm sitting there holding this 6-foot-long snake as high in the air as I can to keep him from getting on the ground again. All these different neighbors are coming out of their condos. Is that a snake? Boy, what the hell's wrong with you? It's a black snake, man. Relax. It's non-venomous. I'm just relocating him. This guy comes out. I notice he's got a long black-looking object in his hands. And then I realized this guy's got a shotgun. I was like, sir, back in your house now. You point that thing at me, we're going to have problems. But you guys, I don't care. You see, I've got the snake under control. It's not moving. I am putting it somewhere where it can mind its own business. Go back inside. And it just went on and on and on. Finally, I get over to the creek, and I let his tail touch the ground so he knows. And then I just, boom, let him go. He shot off right in the creek and went the other way. I come back. I am almost purple in the face because it is midday, dead of summer, Florida, no cloud cover, bright sunlight. So now I'm sunburnt, trying to wrestle with this snake. I go and sit down in the house and I said, okay, he's gone. Mom looks at me like, took you long enough. I said, do you want to go fight it? Do you want to pay somebody $500 to come out here and go fight that thing? No. Well, then shut your mouth. Go watch your TV. And then my brother walks up and he says, what's all this commotion? I hear Dad called me, said, Mom's screaming her head off. I said, oh, nothing. I just wrestled a 6-foot black snake. And he goes, you did what? I said, I just wrestled a 6-foot black snake for 45 minutes and Mom's in here just screaming, doing nothing. Mom, I don't like snakes. He says, it's a good snake. There are no good snakes. Y'all are crazy. Shows you the family I grew up with.
I was visiting a friend of my second wife down in Florida, and their backyard had like an 8-foot chain link fence, and one of the top bars was bent a little, and it had a little notch taken out of the top of it. Just a little furrow.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what happened there? The guy turned around and says, had to shoot an alligator that was climbing the fence to eat my dog. I just went, I ain't going down to the creek.
Oh, is Adam still in here?
I don't know.
He could probably
One of
give us
his.
animal.
Oh no,
stories.
if he's still here, we're talking about alligators. I think he knows what I'm about to say. Edsy, are you still in here? He might not be. I have to watch the chat box. So, y'all have probably already seen. I think Joe Dog even posted it. Y'all remember the what the Australians do to ward off crocodiles? Did you ever see the short video? This old man just runs out there with a frying pan and beats the snot out of the croc a couple times. That croc's like, the hell with this. He just turns around and shoots. He just literally walks down the stairs, walks out there, dong, get back, dong, dong, and the croc takes off.
Wouldn't you? If Pa Kettle came at you with a frying pan.
Oh my!
It was just
that
it
man
was
had
just
some balls. I'll give you that.
the matter of fact way he said it. I'm going, okay.
Oh, that was a good one. Old man versus croc with or old man with frying pan versus croc. Old man wins.
Old age and treachery is worth an awful lot these days.
You see that other video I sent you, John? Tagged you on about 3-4 hours ago?
Maybe.
The German frigate, the MLG 27.
Oh yeah, and the
rate of fire on that thing out of a 27 millimeter thing sound worse than an MG 42. Carl.
I know. I've got it.
Oh yeah, that'll be Florida ups Australian.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, you know what I have never seen is an Australian try to fight some of these pythons and stuff that are growing in Florida that are being 13, 15, 20 foot long pythons. I want to see that video of one of them fight one of them things where Florida's battling them damn near every day.
That's because Australians ain't stupid enough to go out there with the snakes. What are you going to do if it jumps up on your airboat? I can buy another airboat. You will believe a man can walk on water. Oh, Lord. No, it's just a matter of fact why the guy said it. And come to find out, yeah, they will climb chain link fences.
Mm-hmm.
For me, because I'm tired.
Oh.
you can't be tired. We've still got an hour to go.
I can be tired. I don't need your permission. I did eat ice cream for you guys, though.
Yeah, that's why I don't eat ice cream during the show that much. I'll get tired and fall asleep.
Ooh, I had to hear that one.
The bear was beside her car.
I will say nothing on that, but I will say have a good night, everybody. See you guys. Well, Monday night. Yeah, there's a behind the code that I think of, but we're gonna do a burning is love. But then Wednesday night we're gonna do another episode of Scanning is Muncie.
All right, Dawn. Well, you have a good night. You need the rest.
So we'll see you guys later.
All right. Good night, sweetie.
Good night, Dawn.
I'm going to share this one just because I love this guy. But let me see here. Darn it. Hold on. Oh, there's one more.
It only takes about 16 steps.
See, that's why I went to Chrome was to, if I wanted this.
We need him in the rings.
Yep, there it is.
Send an invitation. I don't care how old he is.
You were standing there and he was beating the dragon with a pen. We need him in the rings. Hammer! Send an invitation. I don't care how old he is.
The Vikings want him.
Yeah. So did the Marines.
Bang!
Oh,
Bang! Hammer! Send him an invitation. I don't care how old he is. Get him in the ring. You saw
Oh,
him
I
beat
got-
the dragon with the pen.
I got one that John probably saw. And I know he was laughing his ass off. The Navy captain on the press release a few weeks ago, or about a month ago, where he had the scope on backwards and the rifle was shouldered about yay high over his shoulder. And then the Marines, they took the post down in 3 days, but the Marines had already saw it. They had another photo up. Navy, this is how you shoot. I was like, who authorized that photo op? I guarantee you that captain was like, you idiots! You let me make a fool of myself. You're all getting deck swabbing duty. Get out of my face.
Oh, there's one British couple came over to visit, and they went to a shooting range in Texas.
I saw that. I saw that. I actually left a comment on that video. You'll see
I think
it,
I
just see
saw
my
it.
name.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Where I said, look, I commend you for coming over here. Now you've put your mind at ease about whether you're on the same side or you don't like them. That was my comment. That was Capstar. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that video. That was actually pretty awesome. Did you see why though I said when she shot the rifle? I do got to point out you had it so high up her shoulder that
Mhm.
was kind of unsafe. And I said, you want the stock of the rifle to be in the meat, where the top of the stock is at your collarbone, the bottom of the stock is in the meat of your chest. So, yeah.
I agree with that. I was worried that she would hurt herself that way.
That's what I was concerned about was the bottom of that stock was going to bite into her collarbone. She's going to be like, ah, and have a panic moment and either fire around into the ceiling or drop the rifle and some other nonsense was going to happen. But no,
Evidently,
that was actually pretty cool to see.
and it impressed me. The boy was, for somebody that had only ever played video games, he did real well.
Well, from what I gathered is they had to speak to the RSO first. Because when they introduced themselves to the gun range, obviously off camera, they had said, look, we're not even from America. We want to try this. I guarantee you what they did was the RSO put them through a dry rundown.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, they did really good. That was a really good presentation. I like that they came over and she was terrified at first, and I'm kind of gray area neutral on him pushing her to do it. You know, because she'd already admittedly had said, no, this is too big. I don't want to do this. So I'm kind of neutral about he pushed her to do it, and she actually did do it, albeit kind of a little bit improperly. But now they've got the experience. So yeah, that was a good video. I like that one. They should have had me as an instructor.
They'd still be there. You'd have to go rent a brass magnet to clean up after them.
There's a play. Do you know Georgia Gun Club?
I know it, but I don't think I've ever been there. I mean, I've just
It's
heard
right
about
across from the Gwinnett Stadium.
Mm.
So you know where the what used to be the Gwinnett Braves is now the whatever their goofy name is there. That intersection, stadium is here. You make that left. It's the next intersection down is the Georgia Gun Club. They actually have a 100-yard indoor range.
Well,
Oh,
that'd be nice
those
if I
people-
could see
those-
anything 100 yards away.
Those people are awesome. Actually, I just took some friends over there. couple weekends ago. I took some friends over there, and like me and the RSO even we were hitting it up, and he's like, "You want a Barrett?" And then to come to find out, I decided this time to leave a review on their Google Maps. Apparently, just a couple weeks prior to me being there, some dude brought a Barrett to Georgia Gun Club, and they had a full video of him out there just sitting there, oh, on the 100-yard indoor. I was like, oh, I just missed that.
I may or may not know someone that actually owns one.
I mean, they're actually becoming pretty popular now. Now that Barrett actually designed a civilian 82. If you reference the designation M82, if it's not an A1, it's that shorter version with the round muzzle brake rather than the traditional square triangular one,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got a shorter barrel. It's not a full military 23-inch or 20, whatever it is, 24, 23, 24-inch barrel with the squared off muzzle brake, and it's a little bit shorter in the receiver, and the bipod is not the big, M60 muscular looking bipod. It's just two sticks. So if you see M82, I can almost guarantee you it's going to be the newer civilian model. But if you see M82A1, that is the civilian model name for the military's M107, which is the big Barrett that everybody knows.
Well,
So they're actually kind of common now. Mark Serbu built the RN50, a bolt action 50 caliber. There's the who else has the 50?
hello, Mac.
What's up, Mac? There's one other company that makes a 50. American company. John, who is it that makes the other 50 caliber rifle? Not Mark Serbu, not Barrett. There's one other American manufacturer
Armalite.
that. Is it Armalite?
Armalite makes the AR-50. Bolt action, single shot.
Okay, Armalite.
Griffin makes one.
No, that's who I was thinking of. Griffin Arms. Yeah, Griffin Arms. They make a nice 50. Then, of course, there's Serbu, the RN50. The famous Kentucky Ballistics. I about blew my damn head off 50.
See, what was the other one? That was a bolt action. It's actually a modified receiver, goes on top of an AR-15 lower receiver.
You talking about the 50 Beowulf?
Is that the one? I think.
Yeah, it's not a true BMG.
No. Okay, then I don't say.
Yeah, that's the Beowulf.
This is a single shot bolt action device that it's mounted in basically an AR-15 style upper receiver. It clips into an AR-15 lower receiver, and the hammer and safety on the AR-15 lower receiver are what fire the gun, but everything on the upper is the bolt and the chamber.
Nice.
But it's single shot. So.
Yeah.
Mm.
We were talking about that video, and then I told Dan I took a couple friends to Georgia Gun Club, and he didn't know that they have at Georgia Gun Club a 100-yard indoor range. And I had some friends over there, and we were shooting. And apparently, a couple of weeks before I went, I had a
Macmillan makes one.
The TAC 50. Yes,
TAC 50.
Macmillan. And when you said Macmillan, the first thing I thought of is a game that I play called the Division 2. They feature the TAC 50 in their game.
Mm.
Now, I have personally fired the NCW-20. That big Canel Land Systems 20mm rifle. It actually, Dan, get this. This rifle has so much kinetic energy as a 20mm. It has a hydraulic buffer between the receiver, the chamber's throat, and the barrel. It actually has a complete hydraulic buffer.
The shock absorbing system.
Yeah. But it's an open bolt system, so it's also the whole bolt and receiver also travel back into
the
into
50
the
caliber.
stock.
Yeah, the M250 caliber works like that.
Yeah, but so does the NTW20.
Yeah,
But then it's also got that hydraulic buffer.
Yeah,
The barrel.
The barrel and receivers have a spring buffer, and then the bolt actuates on top of that, and it has its own spring.
Yeah.
And it's actually the whole thing, barrel and everything's moving inside the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Guy who invented that is just a genius. Yes.
Oh, Sir Browning.
Sir John.
Yes. I want to get my hands on an M3 though, the Hispano. The newer one, I think it's Gal 12.
I'm trying to remember.
The one they use now off of like Super Stallions and Chinooks, but it's got that stupid rate of fire but it's still a BMG 50. Like, you remember the original BMG 50 is like
I think it's either an M2 light barrel or there's something called an M3.
Yeah, the Hispano, the M3 Hispano.
And it's
because Hispano took over the manufacturing of it.
Well,
and the rate of fire is like
FN started during right after Desert Storm when we went into Iraq and Afghanistan. FN got a contract to start making M2s.
Ooh.
So yeah, I never saw one, but
ooh, that's gotta hurt, Mac. Mac left a comment down here.
There's a South African company. I can't remember the name of them.
Denel. Denel, the same maker as the NTW20. They have a 14.5 and a 12.7 variant of the NTW20. You literally just take the barrel out and the receiver, just go click, click.
And a 23 millimeter shooting the same damn anti-aircraft cannon round that flipping Soviet turtles are shooting. And I'm like, good.
Z23s. Z23s.
And I believe that's one of those ones that has the big hydraulic buffers in them as well.
Oh, the 23 especially has it. It's even bigger. But Halo is what brought the NTW20 back into popularity because it is the NTW20 for the Master Chief sniper rifle is the freaking NTW20.
I wish they'd come out with the XM109 operationally. That's the Barrett.
The Barrett
25. It shoots the same round that the Land Warrior system was going to shoot.
So this is a picture I printed back in the Battlefield 2 days, and I just happen to have this sitting over here on the couch because I found it. I broke the record of all the players in Battlefield 2 with the M109 25 millimeter by sniping a guy 3,400 meters from one of the tips of Wake Island. Because Wake Island is that big U shape. While we were I was on the southern tip, propped up on a rock, and this guy. Notice you can just barely see the island. He's right here, sitting next to this palm tree, and I got him at 3,400 meters out.
Oh heck! I did that with an Enfield.
With iron sights.
Iron sights.
Everybody saw the shot distance. It doesn't show me the shoot distance, but it shows the rest of the players the shoot distance. And everybody literally after that was like, yo, F-Star, did you shoot a guy at 3,000 plus yards? I was like, yeah, I popped him off the island from the southern tip of the mainland. They're like, how? I said, well, when you shoot at 1,000 plus in real life, you can take the aspects of ballistics, which the game does simulate. So it does not do
wave.
It does not do windage. So your vertical is perfect. No matter where you put that reticle, it will always land vertically on the scope's line. You just have to know the ballistic arch. And I was like, once you learn that in real life, you can easily apply that to a video game. There's like, there's no way. I said, all right, go pop your ass out on that island. 5 minutes later, it pops up again. 3340, 3374. And everybody's like, yo, he just did it again. Okay, don't mess with this guy. Do not get anywhere within his sights within 4,000 yards because he will spot you and he will shoot you. They're like, how do you even see that far? I said, the game goes out to 3,500, so I can just barely see you moving out there, and I know how to read this scope. Try me if you want. All right, everybody find Capstar. They were like there's many games have different modes of communication. There's global chat, which means one player can communicate with everyone else in the game.
Oh,
Yeah,
please.
that thing. Yes.
That could have been so much fun in Iraq.
Oh God, yes. Do you remember they actually came out with fusibles for that rifle?
With
The
what?
air bursting? They came out with air bursters eventually. Right
Not
before they canceled. Right before they canceled
no,
it, they
not,
did have
not
one.
for this one. It was for the Land Warrior system.
I read that the 109 eventually had a prototype air bursting.
Possibly, but it never
amounted, but it was tested. Look at the size of that magazine, dude.
Mhm.
Fat. And you only had 4 rounds in it. Or 5 rounds.
Let me see here.
I still
It
can't believe how
only shows
stubby
4.
that barrel was. Well, it says right there, it features 2 5-round magazines. I can't believe they kept that barrel that stubby, though. You would think a 25 millimeter would need at least a little something.
Mhm.
I wonder if they did that just to keep it from people shooting so far out that by the time they fired, it would be almost a guaranteed miss.
Nothing I can think of. I can't read this damn thing. I'm the one staring at it. Let's see here. See. It doesn't say what. Lethality out to 2,000 meters.
Mm-hmm. But I'm wondering if they did that intentionally because that stubby of a barrel on a 25 millimeter.
It's about the same size as the Mark 19 grenade launcher barrel.
Yeah, but that's 40 Mike.
It's still putting them out about the same range, 1,500. Yeah. So you know. Let's see here.
That kind of reminds me of when I decided that the old laser sights were pretty much useless for me. I mean, seriously, it said on the package, it'll put a red dot on a target at 100 yards, and the dot will be the size of a quarter.
It looks like a Pink Floyd show.
Excuse me, do you think I can see something the size of a quarter at 100 yards? I'd be lucky if I can see something the size of a Buick at 100 yards.
It's kind of funny. You know, all those World War I bolt-action rifles had the roller coaster sights on them.
Mm-hmm.
And they go out to like 1,200 yards on a 30-06. And it's like,
with what?
What are you going to shoot at 1,200 yards with iron sights with 30-06?
Then they finally had the Car 98 that had that side-mounted optics, and they finally devised a way to put the optics on the M1.
It's like, you know, first of all, even if he's standing straight up on flat ground, trying to see one guy at 1,200 yards in a gray uniform or a brown uniform or a green uniform,
whatever it may be.
Yeah. If he's in a trench and all you can see is his helmet at 1,200 yards,
good luck. Good luck with that one.
You'd be lucky to see the helmet.
If I could get these accurate, if I could get the actual optics accurate, this is a 500 milliwatt laser. It will definitely be sightable at 2,000 meters. if I could ever test it, I could probably shoot this thing onwards of 20, 30 miles. Maybe if I went out in the desert somewhere where there's no aircraft for as long as I can see the sky, and just sit there and go, ding, and have something far enough out there that I could still have communication and some kind of visual perception of it. I guarantee you'll see this. And of course, if you really want to get into it, I have a green one as well. We all know how bright green lasers are.
That means you're supposed to be good with a lightsaber. If it's green.
This one looks like a lightsaber at night.
Blue means you're a diplomat. Green means you fight people with lightsabers.
So what was purple for Mace Windu?
He was an
Badass.
asshole. Yeah.
Badass motherfucker.
Let's see here.
No, you do not want to fight the Nick Fury Jedi. Let me tell you that right now.
Let's see here.
Then of course there's
Good night, Mac.
Yep, good night, Mac. What's his name? In Mandalorian, the black saber.
Oh yeah.
The dark saber.
I would love that. Just this partially translucent, very, very ultraviolet, black-looking beam of light. Like, Of course, me being the bow staff enthusiast that I am, that's obviously going to be Darth Maul in Episode 1, where he had the dual-ended bow staff saber.
Mm.
I'm going to show you something you may not have seen before.
Uh-oh. I'm always up for learning.
This is a bullpup variant of the Barrett 50 caliber that came out in the early 80s.
Early 80s or Brandon Herrera?
Early 80s.
You know what I'm talking about? Brandon Herrera made one of them.
But it was specifically designed for vehicles, basically. So
Really?
that if you had to engage a vehicle quickly,
Huh.
you didn't have to lay on the ground with it. So
Yeah, Brandon Herrera just rebuilt one of those. Have you seen it?
is that the one he did with the AK-47?
No. He's got one of those. He rebuilt one of those.
Ah,
It's so funny what they do with that thing too.
but I always thought if you got to pull gate guard and stop a car bomber from getting through your gate, that'd do it.
Oh yeah.
At 1,000 yards, yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
I see a dust plume. Bang!
Now, the only problem I see with it is your ears right next to is right next to where the bolt is operating. So,
Well, in my case, because I'm a southpaw shooter, that charging handle is coming
whose
right
ear
here into my nose.
Whose ear is this on the charging handle?
But I mean, right-handed, the charging handle's on the outside, so because Barrett is a right-handed pull handle.
All militaries are right-handed. All military weapons are right-handed.
I thought you could request like a left-handed for M4 for infantry weapons.
Nope.
If you're a southpaw.
Nope. Everything's you got to learn to shoot right-handed, or you just got to put up with the brass hitting you in the face, one or the other.
I mean, I shoot all my ARs, or all of mine are right-handers, but I always have the stock completely extended because I like long reach out. So usually it's brass crossing, I'd say about a good 8 to 10 inches in front of me. I've never actually had a casing hit me directly, so I'm always usually out there pretty good.
Other than Other than single shot weapons, anything semi-automatic is going to be tossing. There are very few weapons in the U.S. military that shoot brass to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them shoot brass to the right. There's only 2 exceptions I can think of.
Well, then again, there's also the 240 and the 249 that shoot it straight down, don't they? 240 is down, isn't it?
No, the M2 is down. M2 is.
I know I know for sure the M2 is down.
The M2 and the 30 caliber kick the brass down, but they kick the links to the side. 240s go out the side too.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
What about 249?
It goes out the side too.
Original version, Tommy spit it out the top.
Now the only exception to
the grease gun. Didn't the M3 grease gun also kick them high and slightly right?
No, it had the cover over the right side. With the M3 grease gun, you had the charging handle. With the M3A1, they get rid of the charging handle. They just put a finger hole in the bolt. So you lifted up the lid, and the lid was also the safety. You'd lift up the lid, put your finger in there, cock the bolt back, and it fired from an open bolt and ejected out the same hole.
Okay, it may have been one of the German rifles then that also did a almost top ejection. Not the Sturmgewehr 44, was it?
The Garand and the 14 and the M1 carbine, sort of. They still kicked it out to the right, but it came.
Yeah, it was slightly right, but it was mostly up.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I own an M1, so yeah, I know that.
The M240C is the one where the belt feeds from the right-hand side and ejects to the left, and that's the one they use in the armored vehicles as a coaxial machine gun. So it sits on that side of the main gun.
And of course, the G is the stripped down to bare components, no cosmetics on the barrel shroud or the receiver. I know the G is the bare bones. The 240 Golf.
Oh,
most of the Russian machine guns, however, they're belt feds. Most of theirs feed from the right and eject to the left.
Yeah.
The PKs, the RPKs, whatever they're calling them nowadays. Right after the Soviet Union fell, the company that made the Kalashnikovs, back then it was the AK-74, which was the 22 caliber version of the AK-47, started making more advanced versions of the AK-74. So you start seeing things like the AK-90, the AK-110, the AK-115, and all these other variants of the AK.
Now, aren't those made by Zinc or whatever the name of that company is?
I'm not sure. They privatized.
I mean, they have stocks, like adjustable stocks. They're completely modernized now.
Yeah, exactly. They privatized the company, and that's why that private company started coming out with all the AK variants that were supposed to be accurate.
And then they went from 545 to 762 as well, didn't they?
They do both. They
still make both? I thought they went to all 7.6.
Most of what they're using, most of what the Russians are using in Ukraine are 5.54. But they still, because there's so many 7.62 rifles out there, they're still making stuff for those. So.
Good night,
Have a good one, Carl.
The broom handle Mauser also spit the brass out of the top.
Yes, and the Luger pistol.
That's right. I'd forgotten about that. I never owned one of those.
That had the toggle bolt and everything came straight out the back. Which one of the reasons it wasn't quite as popular with the troops as the reason it was so popular with officers. Very lightweight for a 9mm pistol. The Walther P38 was a lot more accurate and functional.
Oh, and the Calico spit the brass out of the bottom.
Yes. Of course, the magazine feeds from the top. So.
Yeah. Believe me, it took a lot for somebody used to a normal pistol to be able to use his sights on a damn Calico.
You know, the Russians actually made a 9mm AK-47 variant that used that type of magazine. It mounted under the barrel, fed backwards toward the receiver, and up into the magwell. And it took one. I can't remember which 9mm it was. If it was the American style 9mm or the Russian 9mm.
Tell you what,
You know,
nothing will ever
there's
impress me.
nothing. There's nothing wrong with that helical feed magazine except everything except the springs inside out of plastic. So if you wound that thing just one turn too tight, you needed an entire new magazine because it was broke.
Nothing will impress me more, though, than the P90. Then, of course, there was the PP-19 Bison that had that big-ass tube of 60 rounds.
That's the AK.
The spiral helical fed.
Yeah, that's the. Hang on a second.
Bison. The PP-19 Bison.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. I'm trying to find a proper picture. The picture I found showed it with the magazine off. I found the North Korean version. That's a pretty good picture. Come on, you.
Was that a slingshot?
PP-19 Bison.
Yep, Bison. B-I-Z-O-N.
Share screen. That picture. That thing. That thing.
Yep.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we remembered to hit the go live button.
Look at my tag.
Your tag.
Yeah.
His status. What happened, buddy?
I know y'all are going to make a short joke if I said not happy, so I just made it for you.
Oh.
You ever try to pull two northern breed dogs that are, closely
Amorous?
No, closely descended from wolves off of a raccoon?
I don't even want to even try to imagine doing that.
Yeah, I wasn't happy either.
I don't imagine the raccoon was any too damn pleased.
No. The raccoon now has a new name of Popeye.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't kill it, thankfully. But they're not scratched at all.
So was this like a love affair between these two dogs and this raccoon, or what? Because if the dogs weren't scratched and the raccoon's not harmed,
no, the raccoon. What? The raccoon is Sans eye now.
Oh, they got one of his eyes. But still, though, how these two dogs and this raccoon are not all scruffled and mangled to hell, and that makes me wonder just what was going on between these three animals.
You don't know the two dogs.
They were fighting each other over the raccoon, and the raccoon was all the raccoon was wanting was away.
Y'all just shoot in here amongst us. One of us got to have some relief.
Pretty much.
So this was like a case of two girls fighting over the ex-boyfriend.
Pretty much.
And the boyfriend's like, just get me out of here. Fuck both y'all.
Both y'all were crazy.
They were trying to play tug of war with it.
Oh, one of them fights. Okay. Oh God.
But it's still alive out there, and it's roaming around looking for food, so can't be hurt too bad.
I mean, just put it somewhere in a corner, give it some food, and then let it go on.
I ain't picking it up to go. I left it right where he was.
No, entice him. Take a plastic bowl you don't need no more. Just dump some stuff in there you don't want. Let him sniff it. He'll follow you. Just keep it down there where he can keep his nose on it. He'll follow you, and just guide him over to some obscure corner somewhere. Leave the bowl and walk away.
You know, because you didn't attack the stick we were using to poke him to move him along.
And tell me where there's an unused corner somewhere in downtown Chattanooga where Joe lives.
Find an unused corner in my yard with 2 husky puppies. And then on top of that, we've got a blue tick and beagle mix.
Oh, God.
Who wanted no part of this situation?
That was a smart dog. Like,
Yeah,
I'll stay over y'all stay over there. I'm just gonna sit right here and be like, oh la, look at these idiots.
Blue tick and beagle. That's 2 coon dogs mixed together, and it wanted nothing to do with this.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, let me just see here. Ah la, look at these idiots playing tug of war over a
It's
trash
like
can.
that. It's like that Russian warship that pulled up in the middle of the Persian Gulf, I believe it was. Yeah. I'm just here to take pictures. Somebody got to preserve this for posterity.
John, what ship was it that messaged one of the Iowa classes after they were sitting there pounding the mess out of somebody, and they sent the message temper?
Oh,
What ship was that?
it was a destroyer, and I can't remember which one.
It was Korean War, though, wasn't it? Where they sat there pounding.
Hey, it was the anniversary just the other day.
Day of that thing.
Yeah, I remember. That's what I was like. This blue tick beagle's just over there like temper, you nutbags.
They a shore battery, a North Korean shore battery, fired a 155 round and hit one of their turrets, killed people. And they turned around and they fired back salvo. I mean, just obliterated, cratered the area where this.
They fired almost their entire inventory, wasn't it?
No, but it was
it was something. It was just bizarre. Like they just sat there, just blah 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 blah.
And the destroyer
just enough to remove the island from the map.
It was pretty much, yeah. No, you don't want to do that. You know, you son of a bitch, you splintered my deck.
Don't touch our boat.
That destroyer it sent the message to was it the Missouri?
No, it's Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Destroyer sends a message to the Wisconsin. Temper now. Come on.
Isn't Wisconsin known as whiskey because it's the bow of the Kentucky?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. We've talked about that here. Was it a couple months ago?
Yeah, I believe it was.
But the roughest part of it is, I spent all day with Chris up in Knoxville promoting convention. So I get home and I'm like, I'm going to bed. I've got nothing to do. Dan, I was asleep within 5 minutes of messaging you.
That's all right.
And then
I answered within half a minute of you sending the message.
I didn't get it. I was that tired, that sleepy. But
as soon as it popped up on the iPad, I go, okay, open, thumb. Nothing happened, thumb. Okay, 2 of them, that'll do.
So I've been asleep ever since then. And my son goes, Dad, get up. You got to come help get the dogs off a raccoon. I'm asleep. So I guess it's prohibited for me to have more than 3 hours of sleep at a time.
Oh, that was me the other day.
You should have just said, give your mama her frying pan. I'm going back to bed.
We were talking earlier about the Australian dude that went out with the frying pan versus the gator. That's where that was
Grandpa.
coming
Was he Australian? I thought it was Florida.
No,
No,
it was
it's
Australia.
Oh,
Because you can hear the accent where he's like, go, go, dong, dong. And the croc just turns around and hauls ass. Oh, where is this email?
There's a reason why that species hadn't gone extinct with the rest of the damn dinosaurs. They ain't as stupid as they look.
Oh, yeah, it's in my text messages.
so have y'all talked about all the beautiful pictures on Facebook today?
I'm pissed
no,
off
we
at
haven't.
you, Aurora, because apparently right over my head, it does not exist. But there are people 10 miles away from me in every direction possible that are getting all these awesome photos, but I can't get a single one of them over my house.
2 miles from my house. 2 miles from my house, they were getting awesome pictures.
We got a chance to see the color, but not any shape.
Yeah.
And we got too many trees, and every time I got far enough up the driveway to where I could actually have a good view to the northeast, too many security lights on too many subdivisions.
Yeah, I think it's light pollution for me too. I took a night mode shot, and around a couple of stars, you can see a pink aura around them. But that's it. Other than that, black sky. That was last night, and I went out just before I came on here. I went out, and I was like,
In between
But,
the overcast and the light pollution, all we could
Good night,
see
Donna.
was a kind of a red fog.
Yeah, that's about the best way to describe it. It looked like a pinkish red fog.
yeah. Now, last night, my mom saw it all the way down in the Villages, Florida, which is right outside of Orlando. So if it's that far south, I should have been able to see something here. But apparently, right here in my area, nope. But John and Joe, I got something for you. I will be in Pigeon Forge on the 15th at the Rocket City Trash Pandas at Tennessee Smokies game.
Have fun.
I thought that'd be kind of ironic for you because you just dealt with a trash.
The destroyer that sent the message to Wisconsin, by the way, was the USS Buck. It was an Allen M. Sumner class destroyer.
Would have been funny if they said, "Hey, Wisconsin, quit fucking around." That would have been even better. Yeah. Who names a baseball team the Trash Pandas?
Huntsville.
Who names their baseball team the Bananas?
Well, isn't the Bananas that goofy?
Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, that's that Savannah. Yeah, but is that they're not even like a legitimate baseball team or something? I think they just do it to be an event for fun and humor. I don't think they actually.
It's the most entertaining baseball you'll ever watch.
I thought it was I thought it was a training school, actually.
I think they have a training school, but the show they put on is strictly for the entertainment. It's like that guy that goes to air shows and plays to be a drunken pilot and steals a biplane.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. He's actually a licensed pilot, but all he does is he runs around the tarmac like a drunken nut, jumps in a biplane and starts flying at all kinds of stupid to hell and back, and then just comes in for a nice, graceful landing. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Y'all are good. And the show ends. That's all the Bananas are, as far as I have been told.
What happened is Savannah lost their Major League Baseball affiliation. So the owner goes, you know what? Fuck it. We'll create our own game. And now they're selling out minor league stadiums all across the country.
Yeah, they're like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
They are or were professional basketball players, but now all they do is events. But yeah, I figured you guys would like to know that I'll be up there this week at the Trash Pandas at Smokies game.
Well,
in
for us, realize it's as far from us to that stadium than it is from you to us.
Oh yeah, I know. Because you guys got to go
You got
across. I'm going up, so we're basically equal to.
you got to just wave as you come through.
I'll send you a photo. How about that?
Just pop a flare as you drive past.
All right, son.
Well,
Chris.
I'll be coming up 441 because I'm on the east
Oh.
side of Georgia. I'm in northeast Georgia, so I come up 441 to 40 and then into Pigeon Forge.
Or you come in the back way?
That's the most straightforward way for me because
Okay.
I'm at Lake Lanier in Georgia in Gainesville, so it's right up Georgia 365 to 441 to 40. I'm there.
Kalashnikov, the company that makes AK-47s, branched out and is now making electric motorcycles.
Send me that. I got some people that would get an absolute kick out of that. Send me that somewhere.
I shall. Let me see if I can find
Thank
it.
you, sir.
Kalashnikov. I would buy one just to tell people, yeah, I got a Kalashnikov.
I got an AK. It might be a two-banger AK, but at least it
I
works.
will post that in Stupid O'Clock.
Thank you, sir.
It's not two banger, it's all electric. I got a
Is it really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I
Talk
might
about
not
branching
share
out.
that. I might not share that because then I'll be the ridicule of posting an EV bicycle over ice. There's a lot of the very person who I think would like this does not, for any reason, absolutely will not accept an EV of any kind, whether it be a semi-truck, a truck, a car, a motorcycle conversion, or even a damn bicycle. You put a battery on it, he will hate on you.
All the more reason to send it to him.
No, I respect the hell out of this dude. He's a former, he is a former
Oh,
tank
sure.
commander
Okay.
with the Finnish army.
I saw the cat, and it looks gray and white.
That's Piercy.
Yeah. Well, I got gray and white cats, so so I walk up and I'm like,
You know what would have been funny is if your cat had walked off the screen and his cat had walked on the screen about the
That
same
would have
time.
been awesome.
Um,
Here, Piercy. Yep, this is Piercy.
oh, you remember the Pontiac Fieros?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
There's a guy putting Tesla motors in Fieros now. Imagine a Fiero with 450 horsepower.
My only problem with the Fiero was that they had so much, it's kind of like the Corvette. They had so much vinyl in the body work that you'd have to replace all the body. They haven't made Fieros since the late 80s, early 90s. That vinyl just don't look worth a damn anymore.
Oh, yeah. Sand it down, new coat of paint, they're fine.
No. I mean, it goes from looking like a smooth car to looking like a waffle iron.
Again, sand it down, little putty filler. It will use the plastic putty filter. It'll work. Yeah, but he
It looked
puts
like a plexiglass poster.
he puts a Tesla motor in it. Has figured out how to split the battery to work the balance out. Damn thing is a rocket sled.
I still can't believe that bike I showed y'all. That chemical rocket.
Oh,
All you hear is poof, and then you just see shoo, he's gone.
that's what it looks like to be fired out of a cannon.
It literally is a cannon. All he does is hit a button, and he knows exactly how many seconds it takes for that reaction to break that seal. And then you're done.
You go from pilot to passenger. Oh, I did see a Cybertruck in the wild today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Well,
he was a little rusty. Dan, be glad you didn't get one. Hey, tow companies are making a fortune off the damn things, having to back into a car wash to drag them out.
oh, Lord.
I still cannot believe. What was Elon thinking designing this thing that it's so leaky? You have to put the damn thing in car wash mode so that it electrically isolates certain areas of the truck that you can take it through a car wash. Anyone? Bueller? Anyone?
I heard from my sister's cousin's friend Becky that Ferris Bueller threw up at the Tasty Cream.
Oh, did you see the video I posted of the guy showing GMC's Hummer's new innovations?
Mm-mm.
Waterproof seats, a plastic floor so you could rinse it out. Who would ever think of turning a water hose inside a muddy, dirty vehicle?
That's what, of course, being in the Army, they've actually got drain holes underneath the foam floor mats. Only problem is in the Army, you put so much mud in it, you plug up the drain holes. So,
now, and it comes with this wonderful new innovation that GM has created, sky panels. There's one on each side over the driver's seat with a nice little steady roll bar between the two. Between the windshield and the back. And it takes 2 levers to open it. One lever on each side. Dan, what does that sound like to you?
Sounds like the ejector seats are not going to work.
Sounds like T-tops to me. Instead of calling it T-tops, they call them sky panels.
See, I don't understand this. Jumping back to the Aurora. Come on, put that up there. This is 3 miles from my house.
Yeah.
Why can't I see this from my yard, which is completely surrounded by trees?
2 reasons. 2 reasons. One, that is a very expensive filter. You can tell because look at the lights on the front of those buildings.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, if this is all that bright, why can't my phone, which is supposed to be able to see this as well, nor my eyes catch this in a much darker environment than all these bright lights right there in front of that camera can see this?
That is a 5 to 10 second exposure.
There's just, I mean, where these are, supposedly, and a couple of these light beams should be right on top of me. Because this building is 3 miles from my house.
Those up top are what you call lens flare.
Mm-hmm.
If you look directly down below them, you can see the 2 lights.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, like all this back here, I should be able to see this.
No, because you're seeing it real time. That is over 5 seconds.
Yeah.
5 to 10 seconds.
I'm just mad that I cannot see any of these Aurora.
The other problem that I have is, of course, the city lights. I would have to look north and east to see the Aurora, which is, for me, I'm south and west of Ringgold, downtown Ringgold. So there is a automobile dealership, a Zaxby's, a Wendy's, an Arby's, a Food Lion, Bojangles, Crystal, Waffle House, Burger King, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, all between me and the Aurora. So there's so much light between me and that.
We have somebody new in here, Ross Marie.
Mm-hmm.
So we're saying hello to you. Of course, that was 20 minutes ago when they said that.
I brought them up.
Mm.
Bleep, bleep.
Well, somebody who's here. Oh, that is. Well, they're in stupid o'clock. Is that you, Dan?
Must be.
Oh shit! If y'all just sitting here talking to yourself, I'm out of here.
Oh, we already drove everybody else off.
That's a digital alter ego.
No, it's me on the iPad being able to reply to chats without popping up a reply from every destination StreamYard is going
Oh.
to. It's just a little trick I learned.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out. Oh, okay. It's weird. All right. Oh.
Let's see. Apparently, they're worried about the weather with the controlled demolition on that bridge that's sitting on that boat.
That hasn't happened yet? I thought that was supposed to happen yesterday or today.
That's what I'm looking for. Let me see what's the time on this is.
I saw.
This is 34 minutes ago from the Associated Press. The crews are still preparing for the controlled demolition, but I do see them laying a bunch of det cord.
Have you ever seen det cord run underwater?
Oh yeah,
that is so cool.
I was in the Army. Most of our det cord ran underwater, whether we wanted to or not.
I like those couple of Russian videos. And then you hear it come back.
There's a saying, Joe. It doesn't rain in the Army. It rains, or it doesn't rain on the Army. It rains in the Army.
And there's always the other one, mud follows Marines. I've talked to a couple and they said, that is not
that is
inaccurate.
the military's number one export, mud. We make beautiful mud.
Especially when you do those 100-ton demo that's blowing up all the Russian weapons and caches and explosives that you done found over a few weeks. Winds up being 50, 60, 100 tons worth of surplus shit you can't use. And you see the shockwave come off of those things.
I've actually seen somebody dig a pair of ditches to a 12-foot wide creek with det cord. They just, when it didn't make it in two sections, just ran the det cord under the creek, and then from one ditch under the creek to the next or future ditch, and then they set it off. It looked like Moses parting the Red Sea there for a split second.
I like the ones where people don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they say, "Look, lightning struck the creek," and everybody's like, "You idiot! That's det cord." Because all you see is that one quick flash, and it just explodes right in front of you. Like, that was lightning! Oh my God! Look at the power of lightning! No, that was det cord. Slow it down, and you'll see that little flash creep across the ground, then go in the water.
I love watching when they do the high speed of det cord blowing up a building. You see it going shoot, and then
there's a guy in Tennessee that makes those videos. He does land clearing for people who live on some of the more mountainous terrain areas, and he'll take high speed photos of it. And he's got like 60 holes in his demo site, and you'll see that det cord just go. I was like, okay, that's cool. Then, of course, there was slow-mo guys. They did det cord at 150,000 frames per second. You actually see the fire crawl across the entire det cord. They had strung up in like letters and other types of various shapes. That was epic. Watching that thing just go.
I was telling me at work that there used to be a guy that would clear land, you know, the timber. And I want to say he was saying det cord, but I don't think det cord does this. But he would tie it around the base of the trees.
Yes, detonating cord.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
det cord.
They did that to clear. We Were Soldiers. They did it right in the movie of We Were Soldiers. I want you to carve out an LZ right there, right now.
And
And
you see the guy, he takes the spool, runs
runs-
around the tree about 4 or 5 times, and takes the next one.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! And about 60 trees just leveled themselves in an instant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah, they cut it as close to the base of the stump as they can, and you can clear out several acres in seconds doing that.
Old farmers used to do that too. They're going, oh, we gotta clear this little patch of woods. We ain't got time to get a chainsaw. I just wrapped that cord around the trees they wanted down, set it off. Had to go back with the chainsaw and get the chunks and the trunks out of there, but didn't have to do too much stump clearing.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Oh, I made the guy.
We Were Soldiers.
I made the guy.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
I made the guy at our power board mad at me. He came out and he says, you know, when they have to trim your tree, they got to notify you that they're going to be trimming the tree and all that. And I said, you know, we're going to have to, you know, cut the. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, if you're going to do that to it, just trim it at the ground.
Oh,
And he goes,
they did that to my godparents in
He did-
Morristown.
the poor guy didn't understand what I meant. I said, trim it at the ground. And he goes, I got to get permission to do that. I got to find out what you really mean. Old Timer on the crew just sort of shook his head. I said, you know what I mean, don't you? He says, I know exactly what you mean. Turn around, the guy says, I've never heard anybody trim a tree at the ground. Cut the damn thing down, dumbass.
Trim it horizontally.
Really. Drop it that away. I'll come back with a chainsaw and get me some firewood. You
Oh,
only,
Yeah, that's also what I told him. I said, take the little limbs off of it. I'll make the rest of it go away because it's maple.
ooh,
Mm.
Yeah, that was.
sawmill time.
No, it was only about
2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. Okay. Well,
Yep.
good night, then. If I
See
can
y'all
find
on the flip side.
all right.
Are you going to stop at Joe or should I?
Well, or if you're queued up, ready to go, because I can't find the damn thing. All right. Good night, y'all.
Nah.
All right. Let's see. Where's the adieu? There's the adieu button. Good night, everybody.
Oh, I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.